Welcome to The Explainer. I am so excited to have you here today because we're diving into something that literally changes how we operate on a daily basis. Today, we're unpacking the Sim2 framework, an absolutely brilliant deep dive into the mechanics of self-improvement. And to kick things off, we're going to start with a pretty wild architectural visualization.
I want you to imagine, just for a second, that you're about to build your absolute dream custom mansion. We're talking the wraparound porch, the massive library, literally everything you've ever wanted. But instead of pouring a foundation and laying down one incredibly boring brick at a time over several months, you decide, you know what? I want to live in it tomorrow.
So you somehow construct the entire thing up in the sky, and you attempt to just drop it from a massive cargo helicopter directly onto an empty lot. I really want you to picture the disastrous physics of this approach. The drywall shatters, the foundation cracks, the plumbing completely explodes everywhere. You're basically left with a giant pile of very expensive splinters. And, well, this brilliantly illustrates a tough reality. This catastrophic 0 to 100 jump, it's exactly how we usually treat our self-improvement goals. We want the fitness mansion or the productivity mansion overnight, and by Wednesday, we're just sitting in the rubble.
Okay, let's get into part one, the shift. We are looking at motivation versus true discipline.
The core reality check here from the framework is that you do not rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your habits. We love to rely on motivation to build those habits, but honestly, motivation is basically a flaky friend. It's entirely tied to your blood sugar, how well you slept last night, or even the weather outside. If it's raining and 40 degrees, your motivation to go for a run on a Tuesday is mathematically zero. It's just inherently unreliable. The source uses this fantastic analogy to break it down further. Motivation is just the spark plug. It's an awesome tool to get you off the starting line for sure, but we constantly, and mistakenly, try to use it as the fuel tank. Relying on motivation to carry you through the entire journey is exactly why the engine stalls out.
So the crucial point is that we actually need true discipline. But I want you to think about this definition from the framework. It defines discipline as self-respect in action, doing what you promised yourself you would do. I absolutely love this because it completely shifts the emotional weight of discipline. It isn't some harsh militant drill sergeant screaming at you as a punishment. It's just the simple act of treating yourself with the exact same reliability and care that you'd show a really good friend. Think about it. If you consistently bail on your friend, you lose respect for them. If you bail on yourself, you just erode your own self-respect.
Moving right along to part two, the mechanics. This is all about building a frictionless system.
Neurologically speaking, any sudden, massive lifestyle change is interpreted by your brain's threat detection center, the amygdala, as a literal threat to your survival. No joke. Your brain will create immense friction just to stop you. So, to bypass that threat response, you have to fly under the radar, using what's called synaptic pairing. Think of it like the drafting technique they use in competitive cycling. Instead of carving out a brand new, exhausting 30-minute time block, you take a fragile, tiny new habit and you tuck it right into the aerodynamic slipstream of an automatic habit you already have, like drinking your morning coffee. The coffee breaks the wind, and you write one sentence in your journal with absolutely zero friction.
Now, to make that drafting process even smoother, you have to ruthlessly curate your environment. These are highly actionable ways to eliminate decision fatigue by basically rigging the game in your favor. Lay out your workout clothes the night before. Leave the book squarely on your pillow so you literally have to move it to get into bed. Put your distracting phone in an entirely different room. You're engineering your space so that winning is quite simply the path of least resistance.
Which brings us to part three, the psychology, the identity shift. Here's the thing, even the most perfectly engineered, frictionless system will eventually break down if your internal narrative is flawed. We have to move our focus away from just checking chores off a to-do list. There's a stark contrast between a desired outcome and an identity. Saying I want to read more is merely a desired outcome, but saying I am a reader is a firm statement of identity. As human beings, we have a very deep psychological need to act in alignment with our self-identity. When you claim the identity, it eliminates cognitive dissonance. The habit isn't just a task anymore. It becomes tangible proof of your character. Now you might be thinking, well, if I call myself a reader on day one but only read for 5 minutes, isn't my brain going to call my bluff? And yes, you will feel a bit of imposter syndrome at first. But that is exactly why you start laughably small. Every 5-minute action is a vote. You are literally stuffing the ballot box with undeniable evidence. Over 30 days, your skeptical brain simply cannot argue with that overwhelming raw data. You prove the new identity to yourself through action.
To anchor that new identity even deeper, the source brings in this incredible piece of wisdom from Earl Nightingale. He says, success is the progressive realization of a worthy ideal. Your habits absolutely must be tethered to a deep, progressive why. Exercising just to lose weight kind of lacks emotional gravity, right? But exercising so you have the stamina to carry your kids without your back aching, now that is a worthy ideal. That's the kind of thing that will actually pull you out of bed in the morning.
All right, let's talk about part 4, the safety net, surviving inevitable failure.
Let's be completely realistic for a moment here. Real life is messy, it's unforgiving, and inevitably, your perfect chain of habits will break. We have to address that dangerous what the hell effect that makes us abandon our goals entirely just because we missed a single workout. The framework's golden rule for survival here is simple. Try to never miss 2 days in a row. Missing 1 day is statistically insignificant over a 5-year timeline, but missing a second day? That tells your brain's efficiency engine that this new behavior is no longer needed, and it begins rapidly pruning that fragile new neural pathway. Missing twice basically means you are actively building the habit of quitting.
To make sure you recover quickly and don't miss that second day, you can leverage what's called the Zeigarnik effect. This is the psychological principle that our brains inherently remember uncompleted or interrupted tasks much better than completed ones. So how do you use this? Keep it beautifully simple. Get a physical wall calendar and mark a big, thick visual X for every single day you complete your habit. That visual streak creates a psychological combo meter. Your brain will stubbornly perceive a blank day as an uncomfortable interruption, and it will push you to complete the task just to keep the chain unbroken.
And whenever you're feeling tempted to break that chain, remember this staggering contrast from Jim Rohn. Discipline weighs ounces, but regret weighs tons. Lifting the slight discomfort of today's tiny 5-minute habit is literally a rescue mission for your future self. It saves you from accumulating the massive, heavy tons of future regret that come from neglecting your goals.
Finally, we reach part 5, the blueprint, laying the bricks today. Let's bring all this theory entirely down to earth. The framework provides a highly actionable, beautifully minimalistic 3-phase daily routine. Your morning phase is just 5 to 15 minutes of setting intentions and quick movement just to wake up the nervous system. The evening is a quick reflection on what worked and prepping your environment for tomorrow. But look at the day phase. Execute one highly focused task. This completely destroys the myth of multitasking. By demanding just one meaningful, needle-moving action, you eliminate the false productivity of just being busy with trivial things. I want to close this explainer with a very powerful thought experiment directly from the source. If you perfectly replicated the unconscious habits of your last 24 hours for the next 5 years, what kind of structure are you building? And do you actually want to live there? Because, whether you are conscious of it or not, the architecture is being built right now. I challenge you to start laying your bricks purposefully today. Don't wait for a magical helicopter to drop a mansion tomorrow, because tomorrow is just a comfortable fantasy. Today is where the bricks actually get laid. Thank you so much for exploring this with me.